Welcome back. Well, with us today from Harvard Eye is Dr. Jacobs. Good to see you, sir.
Good morning, Ken. Always nice to see you.
Always nice to see you. Today we're going to be talking about eyelid-related issues and kind of go over the different issues that people have. I think one of the more common ones are the droopy eyelids, but I'm sure there's more issues with that beyond that as well, right?
Yeah. So the eyelid issues that we like to discuss are things that affect people's daily lives and things that make you tired. With the lids drooping down into the vision,
Right.
people can actually have headaches from it, from raising their forehead all the time. And actually it can affect safety as well, because when
Right.
people's eyelids are hanging down and blocking their peripheral vision when they're driving, they might not be able to see off to the side as well as they thought they could. And,
Right.
you know, sometime, actually I saw somebody a few weeks ago who had unfortunately had an accident due to their eyelids
Seriously?
blocking their
Wow.
vision. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know, these eyelid issues, particularly the upper eyelids, they come on very slowly over decades, really.
Right.
Over 20 years. It's kind of insidious and slow, and people don't notice it, and they don't connect the fact that they're having particular issues, such as having problems reading for long periods of time. Let's say somebody picks up a book or the newspaper, and within 5 minutes they're snoring
Yeah.
away, and they don't know why. They think they didn't get enough rest. It's sometimes due to the fact that their eyelids are actually coming down and pushing their lids closed. And when they're reading, they're doing this, and then they get tired and the eyelids close.
Yeah.
So the issues with upper eyelids are that it can affect your safety as far as, you know, most commonly driving,
Right.
and then reading or your daily life as well.
So as far as surgery to correct that, what are some of the things that can be done? And then if you prove that it's a safety issue and an eyesight issue, is something like that covered in insurance?
Yeah, so if we can show that it is considered medically necessary, then we can get it covered through insurance. But it has to meet very specific criteria, and if somebody comes in, we can evaluate them for that.
Okay.
So the only way to address this is with surgery. And sometimes people there's 7 muscles that move the eyes around. One of them opens the eyelid. And we can address the muscle if it's too low, if it's stretched out. And sometimes it's just a matter of the skin has lost its elasticity over the years, and we remove a little bit of it.
Okay.
And the goal is to have somebody not look like they did anything. We're not looking to, you know, make somebody look not like themselves.
Right, exactly.
But what we want is for them to be able to see better and function better and not be as tired.
And once this is done, what's the recovery time on it?
I usually tell people after the surgery, as soon as you're done, there's no patches on your eyes. So as soon as you're done, you can open your eyes and see.
Okay.
So, you know, that's one of people's main concerns, is that how long will my eyes be patched?
Yeah.
They won't be. Like, as soon as you're done with surgery, I say you can open your eyes, and people open them, they could see. There are sutures in the upper lid that come out a week later. And people just have to put cold compresses on their eyes for a few days. But we give them instructions. But in general, people are swollen and bruised for 2 weeks after the surgery, is the answer to your question.
Yeah.
But there's no bandages on the eye at all. So you can, as soon as you're done, you can see. You know, you just have to, I tell people to take it easy for a few weeks, as far as no lifting, no bending, no straining. Some people get a little flustered because they can't play golf for a little while, but I tell them 10 days afterwards.
Okay.
So
now, what about other issues with the eyelids? Are there other things that can facilitate having some kind of a medical need of surgery?
Yeah, so we've spoken in the past and up till now about upper eyelids. Well, people have lower eyelids. These are in general your upper eyelids, and these are your lower eyelids. So with lower eyelids, they can sometimes sag outwards.
Right.
And people have red eyes.
Yes.
What that usually results in is either irritation of the eye, because the eye doesn't close properly.
Right.
And you know, it's like having the screen door to your house not close and leaves blowing in things. Well, if your eyelids don't close, your eyes can be irritated. Or people can actually have tearing, because there's a tiny little drain in the lower lid, and if it's not in the correct position, up against the eyeball, then the tears, it doesn't go down the drain where it's supposed to go.
Right.
And it runs down their face.
Right.
So we see a lot of people who have tearing, and the reason for it is usually that the lower lid is not tight enough, and it's, going back, it's the same reason that people's upper lids sag. The lower lids, they stretch out a little bit, and it's not tight up against the eyeball.
Okay.
I always make the analogy of like the rain gutter on your roof. If it's not right up against the roof of your house, if it's hanging away
Yeah,
just
exactly.
just a few inches, the rain gutter, not your eyelid.
Yeah.
If the rain gutter's hanging away a few inches, then the water just cascades down the side of the house rather than going down the gutter.
So what do you do for that? What type of surgery for that?
So typically we have to re-tighten the lower lid up so
Okay.
that it functions again.
Okay.
And again, for that surgery, people are most concerned that it's going to make their eye smaller looking, and it doesn't. So
Okay.
it's not going to make it smaller that way or sideways.
Okay.
So, we just re-tighten it and put things back. It's, the saying form follows function.
Right.
Well, basically putting things back to their anatomically correct position usually
Okay.
takes care of things.
And I would assume, again, that more than likely would be covered by
Correct.
insurance.
Yeah, because something like that is interfering with people's ability to function.
Right.
And it's considered medically necessary.
Yeah, exactly. So if people think they might have this problem, I mean, I think it's something that's probably obvious when they look in the mirror, or people that know them
Yeah,
probably notice it over time.
sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. People sometimes they present with the complaints of it. So people will come in and they say, well, my eyes are watering all the time. And that, that would be a lower lid issue. Or
Yeah.
their eyes are irritated.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come in and, their lids are pulled down and obviously they're red, and that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, exactly.
To diagnose. But a lot of times it's not, because it's early on, it's hard for the person to tell exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for me, but we usually figure it out.
Now, I would think that one of the normal causes of this is just like anything that has to do with your skin. It's just aging, right?
Yes. Yes, so with time, the skin, there's tiny little microscopic rubber bands in the skin, and they're called elastic fibers, and what they do is they stretch out, and then they don't retract.
Right, right.
That analogy I make there is, if you had a pair of socks for 15 years in your
Right.
drawers, those pairs of socks are gonna fall down.
Yeah.
So, the skin has the little tiny elastic fibers in there.
As far as the surgery goes, the upper eyelids, how
Yeah.
long can someone expect to be in surgery? Do you have an average length of time? Or?
Typically an hour.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
To do both eyes.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
not very long
yeah,
at all.
Not long. And the anesthesia, it's local anesthetic
Okay.
with IV sedation, so it's not general anesthesia. Sometimes if you need a different surgery, you would go under general.
Right.
But this surgery, we don't need to do that.
Okay.
We just keep people comfortable and do the surgery. So and then when we're done, people 15 minutes later, they're awake and they can walk out. of
Very
the surgery
good.
center.
All right. Well, if you think you might have that problem, you need to check into that, because, as you said, it affected that person's driving.
Yes.
Or did you say they were driving or walking or?
No, they were
what's that?
driving, and
yeah.
they unfortunately, nobody got hurt, but they got into a fender bender, and then they came in and said, I can't see off to my side.
Yeah.
So, because when they pick their eyelid up, they see well.
Yeah.
So it's very common. We see it all the time.
All right. Definitely. Good to see you, Doctor. As
Nice to
always.
see you, Ken.
Happy New Year to you.
You too. Happy 2017.
Say hi to everyone over
I
there
will.
at Harvard Eye, and I know we'll see you again. It's
will.
always good to see everyone from there. And again, if you think you might have this issue, you really need to check this out, because it could end up being a danger. Definitely.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Okay, thank you,
All
Ken.
right.
You too.
We'll be right back.